Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Teresa's Kitchen. Tonight, I will be making a lettuce wrap, a chicken lettuce wrap, and it will consist of red onions, my favorite bell peppers, and I'm going to be making a sriracha mayonnaise to go with it. So, for today's ingredients, I will be using my favorite all purpose seasoner, black pepper, a little garlic salt, and cumin. Cumin gives it like a rustic taste because, again, it's a lettuce wrap, something similar to what a taco would be like. And that's the reason why I'm using the cumin. And it's just gonna make a twist of what you're used to eating when it comes to a chicken taco. And it's going to be wrapped inside of a slice of romaine lettuce. So let's get started. I've already pre-seasoned my meat ahead of time, so it's already pre-seasoned, and I'm gonna slice it up. And so once I slice it up, then I'm gonna saute it into the pan until it gets brown. So once again, let's begin. So as I stated earlier, I already had pre-seasoned my meat like I always do in advance. So it's been pre-seasoned at least for a couple of days. I also have my pan that's getting hot. I'm gonna at least use a tablespoon or two of canola oil in it. So while I'm waiting for the pan to heat up, I'm just gonna slice up my chicken breast. It's a whole breast, and what I did was cut the breast in half because sometimes you get the breast that's really thick, and I was able to like slice it in half. This is the breast right here that I'm cutting up, and I sliced it into four pieces, and that should be enough for at least 2 tacos. I'm only cooking for myself, so I really don't need that much tonight. So I'm slicing up the chicken. It's gonna make at least 2 or 3 chickens, at least 2 to 3 lettuce wraps. So here's my chicken already sliced up. And again, if you want, you can use whatever season you would like. But again, this is my lettuce wrap for tonight, chicken lettuce wrap. So while I'm waiting for my pan to warm up, I'm actually just slicing up some vegetables to go on side of my taco. I have a half of medium red onion, and I have a half a baby bell pepper. You can use whatever color bell peppers you want. This is what I have available in my refrigerator. I had some leftover yellow and red bell peppers, so I basically sliced them up. And like I said, it's just basically me, so I don't need that much tonight. So what I'm gonna do now that the pan is hot, I'm just gonna go ahead and add like a tablespoon of oil to my pan. And then I'm just gonna lightly saute my vegetables first into the pan. But I'm also going to make sure that my pan is covered in the oil. I'll whisk it around. And I'm gonna turn my heat down because I want it to be hot. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add the vegetables to the pan. And I'm just gonna spread them around in the pan so they're easily cooked evenly. Here they are, they're cooking in the pan. So I don't want the vegetables to overcook. I just want them to cook lightly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stir them around in the pan. It's only been about a minute that they've been in the pan. So I think that should be enough. They've cooked down quite a bit. I'm just gonna put them in the bowl. Put them off to the side. Shake off the excess grease. Whatever oil that's left, you can use that same oil to cook your chicken in. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Use the same oil to saute my chicken in. This is pretty much a quick meal for tonight. Being that it's the weekend, nothing heavy, something light. And especially if you're watching what you're putting in your stomach, that's why we're having a lettuce wrap tonight and not a regular taco on a soft taco shell or taco itself. And this is good for those of you who might be on keto. It's keto friendly, where you can lose weight, actually. So, now you can go ahead and take your chicken and put it inside of the pan and let it cook. And it's gonna take about 5 minutes or so for it to cook down. This is actually chicken breast. So I'm also going to give you guys another helpful hint. When it comes to cooking and safety, you don't ever leave your pan out. Anyone can walk by and just bump into it and the whole pan will flip over and you got all this hot grease on you, or the hot pan. It's also for little toddlers, like my granddaughter is a toddler. She can easily come by and just touch it. So you always turn the handle away where it can't be reached. So that's a safety tip. So as far as the ingredients, I know I didn't tell you earlier, probably it depends on how much chicken you want to cook. I basically cook the whole chicken breast. It looks like a lot for one chicken breast, because where I order my chicken breast from, it comes to be pretty big. And what I do, I normally get the chicken breast and I slice it in half. And for this, I probably use a tablespoon of the all-purpose seasoner, a tablespoon of pepper, a half a tablespoon of the garlic salt, and a tablespoon of the cumin, because I really wanted to have that rustic taste. So these are pretty much the seasonings that I'm using to create my lettuce wrap. If you choose to use any other type of seasoning, again, it is your choice. So now, as you can see, the chicken is turning white. You can actually see it when it's cooking around the edges. You can see it. That means it's browning on the other side. You can actually start turning the chicken over. You see that? For those of you who are not familiar with cooking, the chicken has started turning brown. So you can actually, let me go ahead and give you a close-up look as to what I'm talking about as the chicken is turning white. If you see around the edges of the chicken, you see where the white is? That let you know that the chicken is cooking. So you can actually take the chicken and flip it over where it's beginning to brown. You see that? And you really don't want your chicken to overcook, because this is white meat. And white meat tends to get dry. And there's nothing worse than getting some dried out chicken breast. Although it might be cut to your likings, but you want to just turn it over. We're not going to try to overcook it. That's a clue that the chicken is cooking, because it has turned white around the edges. So it's going to get that nice brown color on each side. And because the pan was already hot, it's not going to take long for it to cook. So you just give it a few minutes and make sure that each side of the chicken is done. So now we turned it over. We'll just wait a few more minutes for the chicken to get done. And you can always check on the chicken periodically to make sure that it's not browning too much, meaning overcooking. And just turn your chicken periodically. to make sure that it's not overcooking on one side. Just keep turning your chicken like I'm doing. Just turn it over. Doesn't say because you turn it on one side that the chicken is completely done. It's not. You want to make sure that it's cooked through thoroughly. And for those of you who are unsure if the chicken is done, remember the chicken was pink when you first cooked it. So now, if you want to check your food, you can take one piece of meat and you can actually slice it open and look at the meat. What you're looking for is to see the color of the meat on the inside of the strip that you cooked. So this is the color of it. It's white. Hope you guys can see it very well. But it's white on the inside and it's cooked all the way around. So once you see that the majority of the chicken should be done. So what you can do is just take it out of the pan. You give it one more toss if you don't feel safe about it. But you can take it out of the pan, drain all the excess grease off. Now, I will say this. My chicken was seasoned. And you can tell that it was seasoned because all of the seasoning has basically changed the color of the chicken to whatever seasoning that you basically use. For example, the all-purpose seasoner and the cumin is like this color. So it's going to change your chicken to a color. But common sense is that if the meat is pink, it is not done. Okay? I just want to tell you that. So I'm just going to simply place this chicken inside of a bowl and let the excess grease drain off of it for now with paper towel. You don't want to have all that grease while you're making your lettuce wrap. So I'm just going to let it drain for now. So I did tell you all that I was going to be making a lettuce wrap with a sriracha mayonnaise. Well, here we are. So I'm going to take at least a tablespoon or two of mayonnaise. And it's okay if it's a heaping tablespoon. We love heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise. Just want to make sure it's a whole tablespoonful. So to that tablespoon, I'm going to place a half a tablespoon, not the whole tablespoon, but a half a tablespoon of sriracha because the sriracha is very spicy. And all you're going to do is just mix it in. And it's going to give a pink color or a reddish color. Just mix it in really well. And that's going to be your sauce that you will top your chicken lettuce wrap with. Again, I will be using a romaine lettuce. So the chicken is going to go on a bed of romaine lettuce along with the vegetables that I had sauteed earlier and the sriracha mayonnaise. So here we have two simple ingredients to place on top of your lettuce wrap. So I don't know if I ever told you all this, but when you buy your romaine lettuce, it comes like this in a whole bunch. And you pretty much have to dig through the bunch to see what pieces are the better pieces to use. And you just break it off like this. And if you don't like that piece, you can go on to the next one. And then make sure you wash it off with some cold water and shake off the excess water. It's a pretty sturdy lettuce, and like I said, this is my go-to when I want to do lettuce wraps or salads because they stay a long time. I used to use the regular lettuce, the regular head of lettuce, and you go in there less than a week, it's all bad. So that's not what you want. You want something that can really stand the test of time. So basically, look on both sides of your lettuce to make sure there's no bugs or anything on it. It's just like looking at a piece of collard green and you're looking to see which one is the best leaf to use. And in this case, it will be this one for now. And then I'm gonna look through it and see if I can find a couple of more. But make sure you wash it, rinse it off, and damp it with a cloth, and therefore a napkin, I meant to say. And that way you can eat it. Okay? So here's the final product. It is the chicken lettuce wrap with romaine lettuce, the sauteed chicken along with the vegetables, and the sriracha mayonnaise. So for those of you who are doing keto, it is quite keto friendly, including the mayonnaise that I made to go on top of it. You can include some slices of cheese, some pork rinds, and you will just have you a lovely party in your mouth. So once again, thank you for coming on to Teresa's Kitchen, and I hope you will enjoy this meal. Again, if you like, click the like button and subscribe, and enjoy. Have a good night.